Welcome to another segment of Mammary Monday. Today we have joining us Kelly McKernan Drummond, who is a very unique story. She is a poster child for early detection and the follow through that it takes to maintain surviving the possibility of cancer or eradicating the possibility of having cancer. Kelly, welcome today. How are you?
Doing fine. How are you, Karen? Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you. Kelly and I met in another lifetime, in another universe, in the
Yes.
world of education. We both started new teaching positions in the same year, and we had a great run together as teachers. It was a lot of fun. And you are still teaching, is that correct?
I am still teaching. Yes.
Bless you. You guys are some amazing folks. I think a lot of people have discovered recently during this quarantine that teachers um, are very valued and serve an incredible service to our children. It's not easy teaching, and people don't realize that.
It's not. Yeah, 26 years. This is 26 years. It'll be the
Wow,
finished.
wow. Well, bless you for that. Um, let's talk about your diagnosis. Can you, well, first of all, we'll tell our audience that you have graciously volunteered to allow us to follow you through this journey that you are on. And it seems to be evolving and changing here and there and probably keeping you on your toes a little bit.
Yes, it is.
So, would you tell our audience exactly what your diagnosis is and where you are in your journey?
Okay. I've been diagnosed with atypical ductal hyperplasia cells. Breast cancer is not diagnosed yet, but I am in the high risk percentage of having breast cancer because I have so many of these cells. 2 years ago, I have yearly mammograms. I had a call back to have another mammogram. Went back, had that, nothing, no steps needed to be taken. This January, I had my yearly mammogram, and I always go demand 3D. It's one of my first questions. Is it a 3D mammogram? And they say yes. I had my mammogram done on a Friday. They called me back Monday and said, you need to come back in and have another mammogram. I was able to get in that day, got in, had the mammogram, 8 o'clock in the morning. Within a little bit of time, the radiologist walked in as I was getting ready to leave, and she said, you need to have a biopsy done. We see quite a few of these cells, and I want them biopsied. I said, I'm off of work today. Can we do it today? Within 2 hours, I was having the biopsy done at the hospital.
That is an ideal scenario, truly.
Yes.
No waiting, no wondering,
Yes.
and available to have the biopsy done immediately. That is, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that for
Right.
sure.
Yes.
So, three cheers for 3D tomosynthesis mammography.
Yeah.
Never would have seen that likely on any other type
No.
of screening.
No.
The software is incredible, the resolution is incredible. And I'm so pleased that you are in command of this situation and it's not in command of you.
Right.
Um,
Yes. Yeah. I
as we
told
were
them I could
saying,
do that day. I wanted it
yeah,
done. So they called insurance, said, go eat something, come back. And it was all done, within hours. Within 2 hours, I was
that's
having
that's fabulous. And your story is unique in that there are so many variables in your diagnosis and your ongoing observation, or and your professionals who are observing your situation very carefully. What is your next course of action?
Well, after that, I went to see the surgeon. I had an MRI done, and she said, that I needed the cells removed. So I had seed markers and surgery to remove the hyperplasia cells were all done in February. They were all removed. Then I had an oncology appointment just last week. So I went to see an oncologist, and she put me on tamoxifen. We discussed
Hmm.
it, talked about it with you, talked about it with several people, and I thought it was best to, start. So I've started tamoxifen, so I've been taking it now. It'll be, almost a week.
And
Um,
you are so very fortunate to be a candidate for tamoxifen. Not all of us are. It's kind of like a little insurance policy, and I'm happy for you for that. That's wonderful. And you're not having any adverse side effects. That you're tolerating it well.
so far, getting
Mhm.
hot, but I think, that's part of other things going on, but nothing that I can speak of that I can complain, that would make me stop. So she said, give it about a month, between three,
Mhm.
weeks to a month. If I do have side effects that I can't tolerate, they can cut the dosage down because I'm on 20 milligrams, so just that we'll try to work out the dosage to see if it has to be lowered. But this is the standard dosage right now that I'm taking once a day, the tamoxifen.
And you are very slightly built, so it may be more than you need, but it's just a matter of kind of waiting to see. And that brings up a great point for us in precision medicine.
Yes.
You're kind of poking around, or your doctors are kind of doing the blanket treatment and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. What's coming down the road for Louisianians, likely in January of 22, I'm told, is that precision medicine will be available to cancer patients. And that is a course of action that um, is detailed and customized for the cancer patient via gene mapping.
Right.
So that is going to be coming through. However, you did talk to your doctor about possibly doing some gene mapping, and what were you told?
Yes, that she did. We talked about that, and I actually met this morning at 10 a.m. through a virtual meeting with
Hmm.
the genetic counselor appointment. I gave them all of my family history for the cancers in the family and didn't qualify for family. I only had a 3, maybe out of the 5 factors, so it wasn't medically necessary, they found. But through a
Hmm.
lab, I can may insurance may cover it or it may not. It's at the cost. They cap the cost off. But yes, I'm going to have the genetic mapping test done. So they're going to do that. And so I talked to them, filled out the form. It's called genetic testing. It's a tumor suppressor genes. It says they're going to test, and I chose to do the multiple cancer panel. So 84 genes will be tested.
Hmm.
And so I have to just sign the consent form, and I'm waiting for the saliva test kit to come in the mail, and then that'll arrive in the mail, and I'll mail that back. And they said within 10 days I'll have the results.
Kelly, you are very, very wise to do that. That's going to make all the difference in how your treatment goes and how your body responds to the treatment. It's not guesswork.
Right. Yes.
Um, do you feel empowered or assisted by information that KTSRBI has been able to share with you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Karen and I will text her, I've called her. I've talked to other people that I know in your foundation that have, survived breast cancer. Just talk to you, reading articles that you've sent me, going to your website, your Facebook page, the cancer advocacy page and group that you're in. I've read lots of articles they've had, and I feel very empowered, very supportive that I know if I needed the help, I have someone I can get, reliable and dependable and trustworthy help that I know someone I'm trusting is in you. I know, you'll help me just lead me in the right direction. And I also want to help other girls and women be proactive, do this. I've already called 2 of my friends and said, did you have your yearly mammogram done? Get it done. And I'm going to stay on them until they have it done. I'm going to stay on them.
It's funny how this situation affects you like that. Like you are called to pay it forward, so to speak,
Yes.
and it's a really good way to help each other make sure we maintain our screenings, our annual screens, and our checkups.
Yeah.
And I know you have a good support system at home.
Oh, yes.
I had the pleasure of speaking with your daughter, Morgan. I think it was the day of your surgery, and also your father messaged me. So I know your dad's a big, big fan of yours. So I know you're in good hands in that respect.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So, how are you managing your fears or maybe any anxieties that are commonly associated with um, a diagnosis that's a bit scary or some unwelcome news?
Right. Yeah. Just putting, saying you're in a high risk category and certain things can happen. So every 6 months now, I have to have a mammogram, visit with the surgeon, then the next 6 months, an MRI, and visit with the oncologist. So that's the kind of
Mhm.
plan also. So, it just seems every 6 months, I feel like I get a little nervous and worked up about what those
Sure.
results could be. Just talking to people daily, I'll talk to you, talking to friends and family, prayers. I pray a lot, sitting outside, kind of just relaxing, taking time for myself to just breathe, clear my
Hmm.
mind and think. I have a childhood friend that actually passed away from breast cancer a few years ago, and her brother wrote a book. It's called In Mary's Eyes. My mom and dad bought that for me for Easter, so I've been reading that, and it's been her life story and different situations she went through with the cancer, and it's been very spiritually uplifting. And just reading articles and just talking to people, and it seems to help a lot.
It really does. Wow. I would love to share the link for that book on our webpage. It sounds like it's very useful information and very comforting, which is important during these times.
Yes.
Even little things I can remember going through that experience, if I would receive a card in the mail,
Hmm.
how it just made a big difference in my day, or hearing from someone that I hadn't heard from, or having someone who I really didn't know offer to help or bring a meal by. Those little acts of kindness go
Hmm.
such a long way when you're in a fight for your life.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Text, little text or someone, how are you doing? Thinking about you. It's all it has to be.
It's it. It makes a big difference. So you are amazingly healthy and fit.
Mhm.
Have you had to change any of your dietary daily um, strategies, or what are you doing for yourself other than, it sounds like you're doing a great job with giving yourself time to what's the word I'm looking for? Process all of this.
Mhm. No, because it was funny because she's writing stuff down saying, don't eat a lot of red meat and watch your fat intake and watch that. And I went, well, I've been a vegetarian, a pescatarian because I do eat seafood. So I was for over 20 years. She went, okay, well, let's check that off the list. That one of your things that could help you, one of your uh, the ways that like diet, exercise. She goes, let's check off the diet because you have that undertaken. So drinking more water. She mentioned about, I do like to walk, so she mentioned walking and vigorous for like 70 minutes out of the 150 minutes a week. So just little things like that, to change.
Hmm.
Make sure you consciously do it.
Hmm.
um, Basically not
That's
any dietary changes because I was already eating the vegetables and eating all the proteins and stuff that she mentioned me eating already.
and again, you're a prime example of picture of health, and you don't necessarily know what is lurking,
Mhm.
but we can find out using 3D tomosynthesis
Oh,
mammography.
absolutely.
Well, Kelly, do you mind if we check in with you in a few weeks? I think you mentioned September is your next visit to another set of doctors. Do you mind if we visit with you after you've consulted with them?
And July will be my next visit after I get the genetic mapping testing back. So I can tell you,
Oh,
like I said,
okay.
July 7th, I have that appointment for the genetic testing results. And then in September, I'll have another mammogram and meet with the surgeon again in September. So yes.
Well, that would be wonderful if you would allow us to visit again with you in July and September. We
Yes.
want to see how your progress is going and cheer you on. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you that you are in the driver's seat.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Well, we love you,
thank you for helping put me in that driver's seat.
girlfriend. I'm here. I love you big time, and we'll be in touch. Chin up.
All right. Love you too, Karen.
All
Bye,
right,
Chuck.
honey. Bye bye.